All right, all right. This is so exciting. We have an incredible night tonight. Thanks for joining us. And I'll tell you, it is so much fun when you have really great, incredible people making a positive difference. And that's what you're going to find out about. Now, also, I just want to say, just thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're 9atNight Live Zoom podcast, and we love what we do. Absolutely love what we do. I'm Christine Campbell. I'm the host and producer of this show. And it's Friday night, the end of the work week, and we want to actually relax and have fun, right? Well, that's what we're going to do tonight. And so wait until I introduce you to my co-host. Wow. I'll tell you what, she is such a dynamo. Tell your friends to get on the show tonight just by going to 9atnight.com. Scroll down, click on that Zoom box. 9atnight.com is at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every weekday night with different topics each night. And tonight it's all about the fun. So let's go ahead and let's get going. All right, what I want to do is just go ahead and introduce our co-host now. I'll tell you what, let me just say a few things about her first. Okay, she's definitely has a tiger by the tail. She's on fire when it comes to life of travel, and I couldn't say it better than her, so I'm going to read her own words, okay? She just sent me this. She goes, as a former airline brat, I caught the travel bug early, but the real epiphany, excuse me, it's Friday, of travel and what it can do for your soul hit me when I took one of those. If it's Tuesday, it must be Belgium trips to Northern Europe in high school. And you know what? I didn't want to come home. This is her words, right? And I've been a traveler, not a tourist ever since. I'm passionate about understanding a place from its food to people to the culture. I'm here to help others experience new places or the same place in a new way and encourage everyone to check off those bucket lists. That's my buzzword, is bucket list. And seriously, hers is drinking cocktails in their bar of origin. Now that would be fun. So let's go ahead and welcome Miss Erin Richards, and she's from Huckleberry Travel. Welcome, Erin. We're so glad to have you on.
Thank you, Christine. Thanks. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, you bet. I am really excited too. Now, I want to let everyone kind of know a little highlight insight. I am so impressed as I got to know you that you have been a school teacher for years and years, and now you're a travel guru, but you've been traveling all your life. So tell us, how did all that happen?
Well, I always wanted to be a teacher when I was a kid. And like I said, I was an airline brat. So my dad, took us everywhere. He worked for the airlines. We got all the airline perks, traveled all the time. But I always wanted to be a teacher. So when I graduated from college, that's what I did. I became a teacher. And I loved teaching. I taught middle school for years. And then about 4 years ago, I started taking our 8th grade students on a trip back east. So I'm located out on the West Coast. Our students very rarely get an opportunity to go visit our nation's capital or the big city of New York. So I started taking them on a 6-day trip during their spring break. And after a couple of years, I thought, why am I not doing this full time? Why am I teaching in a classroom all day when I would much rather be out there traveling and inspiring others to travel, whether it's kids or adults? So here I am.
I absolutely love it. It's kind of getting off track, and we're going to start talking some gorgeous places. But I love the fact that you had film and movie college and all that, and that's what you taught. So what made you want to do that?
I just always was, I don't know if it was a little bit of the travel or what, but I was always in love with film and old movies in particular. And just, the way movies transport you, the way travel transports you. So when I was in college, I made the bold decision to earn a film degree. And then I immediately put it to use, not doing anything in the film industry, but teaching students about video broadcasting, as well as English and screenwriting and all of that goes along with it.
What's so cool about this? Now, this is so touching to me. I have no idea. My son, who graduated in film, right? And a secondary was like communication, which everybody needs that anyway. But so he had a huge stuttering problem when he was young. He was 4 years old, brilliant, ahead of his game. And then one day he couldn't talk. He stuttered. It was his brain was going so fast. So he had a whole life of school years with someone helping him, to a specialist to help him, how to work it out. So in high school, he's starting to do really, really well in high school. He says, well, I'm going to be I'm going to take film, and they have this show where you tell the news every day, and I'm going to do that. I go, that's great. That's great. And so he just doesn't quit, right? So he ended up, oh gosh, it was a new high school. We were there. His first year, he won. It was his senior year, and he won like Mr. Eagle High. It was a popular vote, and he's doing all this film stuff. So that is very touching. It was that teacher that really took him under his wing and just really kind of get him excited. And then I took him to the LA Film School on one of my broadcast trips. And, after seeing all that, but that's what he chose. So I just can't wait till you guys can talk and share your stories with each other. So thank you so much. Well, we're going to talk about some beautiful islands and some areas. So I'm going to show pictures and you kind of tell a little bit. Let's talk about your travel company.
Yeah.
And you're based in California. They're based in New York, but tell us all about that.
So Huckleberry Travel is a boutique travel agency. We work primarily with clients who are looking for leisure travel. And like we've said a couple of times tonight, that kind of that bucket list check off. We kind of specialize in that authentic, immersive travel where you're not just taking a picture of the Eiffel Tower and moving on. You're maybe getting to have dinner on the Seine, or you are working with one of our trips that we have coming up is to go to Machu Picchu, but you're not just hiking to Machu Picchu, you're getting to see the potato farms, and you're getting to meet with local women who are using alpaca fur to actually make their villages and themselves, that's their livelihood. And so they're able to bring home a paycheck through some of the travel programs that we work with. So it's really cool to kind of see both like the local side of it, and then also you get to see Machu Picchu and check off a little bit of your bucket list.
That is so cool. Now this is the travel page and yes. Huckleberry Travel. And so what was interesting was why Huckleberry? I love that. And it's got a little explanation here, but I'm going to tell you in your own words.
Yes. So we are your Huckleberry. So basically Huckleberry is a delicious fruit. Yes. They make great jams and candies, but it's a slang term as well that kind of means we're your go-to person for whatever you need. And that's kind of how we run our business. We are your travel specialists and your advisor from before you go, when you start planning and you just have a seed of an idea, all the way through your trip till you come home and you share your fantastic pictures and memories and things with us.
And then here is that you've won some great awards.
Yes.
Let's talk about some of them.
Sure. So we, I think I'm just looking to see which one you're looking at there. Oh, that's our Uniglobal, where we were Rookies of the Year. So Tom and David, who own the business and who opened the agency, we were our host agency's Rookies of the Year. I say way back in 2017 because it seems like forever ago, but it really wasn't. And then we have won some other awards through ASTA, which is the American Society of Travel Advisors, which we are all proud members of.
That is so cool. I really love it. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get some beautiful pictures up. Just on this island. Now, the reason why I'm not saying it is because you're going to say it, okay?
Okay.
So this is...
Yeah, so we are looking at one of the many Galapagos Islands off the coast of Ecuador. The Galapagos Islands are known for their unique wildlife, their unique animals. They are a protected site. I believe, and I'm going to say it wrong, but I believe they're UNESCO World Heritage. They are part of Ecuador, but they are wholly separate from Ecuador as well, just because of their unique landscape. It's where Charles Darwin did his study on evolution. It's where you'll find the blue-footed boobies. That's them right there. They're a bird unique to the Galapagos Islands.
Is that timing or what?
Isn't that funny?
It is absolutely funny.
The Galapagos Islands also have swimming lizards, which I'm not super excited about lizards that can swim, but we'll see when we get there. They're iguana type lizards.
I think I have a picture of them.
The Galapagos tortoise. Yeah, right there. Yeah, I'm not excited about snorkeling with them, but I'm going to get over it because it is definitely something that you should do before you die. It's a bucket list thing. The Galapagos tortoise, of course, that's a species again that's unique to Galapagos, studied by Charles Darwin, and they are a protected species, but we get to be with them up close and personal when we go on our trip in May. And we're going to sail around these islands. I believe we make 6 stops among the islands. We get to snorkel. We get to, like I said, see the wildlife. We have a naturalist that's going to talk to us about all kinds of exciting things when we're there.
Well, I can't believe it cleared that water.
Yes, it's definitely a unique spot in the world.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
There's those iguanas again. I'm not so sure about those.
So is this your first time there?
This will be my first time to South America. It will be my first time to Ecuador, and it will be my first time to the Galapagos Islands. So I'm very excited. We are doing a chartered tour. So it's just Huckleberry Travel and our favorite travelers and people. We're a brand new catamaran. It's 18 passengers, so very small ship, very intimate experience. We get to go into, a lot of times when people take cruises down to the Galapagos, they are still on bigger ships. So they don't get to get super close to the islands. They don't get to necessarily get off and walk on those sandy beaches and see those turtles up close and personal. But we will, since we're on such a small boat.
Excellent. So how much does this run? I'm trying to see, I think I have everything muted. So I don't know what any background noise. I'm not doing it. Okay, it's not me. But what does something like that run?
The company that we're working with has actually given us some really great pricing. So we're looking at, and it starts about $5,000 per person for, I want to say 13 days. And that's basically everything. That's the internal transportation. That's the cruise itself on the small catamaran. That's all your meals. That's all your excursions. And they provide the snorkeling equipment and that kind of thing. So once you've made that payment, that's your payment, and you just get to go and have fun. And you don't have to think about, oh gosh, I still have this to pay for. I still have that to pay for. And honestly, for something like this, I mean, normally something like this is going to run more like $7,000 per person. So we actually have exceptionally good pricing right now for our trip.
You know, I don't know what that noise is, so it's not me. Do you
I
hear
was
a
gonna
noise?
say, I don't hear a noise, so.
Oh, I do, and it's not me, and I know everyone's muted, so that's just weird. So if it records a noise, it sounds kind of vulgar.
Oh.
Yeah, it sounds like noises. So anyway, now I calculated that out, 5,000 per person for 13 days. If you go back, it's just like a nice hotel room every day is all that the cost is.
Exactly.
For 13 days. But you have to go to the island first, or you take that out of your own cost, right?
Right. So you have to get to Ecuador. You have to get to Quito, but after that, you're in our hands.
That is so cool. You know, I was just curious, out of every place that you've traveled in the world, what are some of the things that have stood out?
Well, I feel like I can't have favorites because I feel like that's choosing a favorite child. But in my top 5, Iceland was an incredible experience. I've never had as amazing time as I did when I was in Iceland. And we went in the dead of winter. It was dark all the time, except for like 4 hours during the day. But the people are incredible. They're so friendly. They're so warm. I liked the food. I liked the drinks. I mean, we got to walk on inside a glacier, which where else are you going to walk inside a glacier? We missed the Northern Lights. It was a little cloudy for us. So that's something I still have to go back and do, but we spent time in the Blue Lagoon. So we got to take the silica baths, and we learned all about it's the land of fire and ice. So there's, volcanoes on one side and glaciers on the other. And it was a really fantastic experience. We were there over New Year's Eve. And if anybody's ever been to Iceland on New Year's Eve, the Reykjavikians, they throw a good party. That was the night to remember.
Wait, and that's a beautiful place. My son, who isn't in Costa Rica right now, we'll be talking about Costa Rica in a little bit. He may call in, and he's been to Iceland. And that's when you're saying this, I know those pictures. So that's a beautiful, beautiful place. So with all that, it comes to show that you're a travel agent with a travel company. Do you get those perks? Are you guys given like tickets from cruise ships so you can check it out, so you tell your people about it? I heard there's lots of perks.
Sometimes, I mean, it's been a little different in our post-pandemic world, but yeah, sometimes. I mean, it's like any profession. You kind of have to earn your perks. So if you're not, working closely with that supplier, or you're not helping that supplier with their business, they're certainly not going to help you with your business.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, but there are some. I mean, if you love to travel and you love your business like I do, then there are definitely some perks that come with it. Definitely. I did Iceland on my own well before I was ever a travel advisor, but there are some nice bonuses to the profession.
That is perfect. Yeah. And what's cool is my husband and I, we want to travel, eventually. And it's nice to hear from the experts, like where to go see and whatnot. It's just like, so that's why I love this show. Every Friday night at 9atNight, it's all about the fun, and we're talking about travel fun. So I'm going to go ahead. We have a wonderful charity that we support. I'm going to play this video, and then we're going to come back and talk about Costa Rica. So great. I'm so excited about that. So
awesome.
Having a child in the hospital is incredibly hard for parents, and really difficult for the child too. But seeing a child smile because we were able to add a little bit of happiness and fun to their healthcare journey is an amazing feeling. In fact, it's our passion. Working in the U.S. and overseas, I was sad to see that healthcare-related pain and suffering is universal. So, in 2010, Standish Foundation for Children began work to transform the healthcare experience for children. Today, we work to create new ways to help children and their families make the best of a tough situation.
Our caring and dedicated team is volunteer-led and made up of patients and parents, as well as professionals who are clinicians, educators, and advocates. Our team members have devoted their lives to helping children and are experts in addressing the psychosocial needs of patients and their families. Together with healthcare providers and donors, we work to make the healing process more hopeful and happy.
Our team collaborates with children's hospitals, clinics, and nonprofit organizations in the U.S. and around the world. We also support hospitalized children of U.S. military personnel. We guide in the education of staff and parents, teach child advocacy, offer psychosocial support, and give financial assistance to make the child's healthcare experience as positive as possible.
As healthcare technology continues to evolve, it's important to remember to embrace our common humanity. Fear is present for well checks, emergency room visits, as well as complex care involving surgery, chemotherapy, or organ transplantation. These procedures are scary, and we believe that no child should have to be afraid to go to the hospital or to the doctor's office. We know the research and strategies to minimize pain and suffering, and we know healthcare and healing can be positive. In fact, when children experience healthcare in a positive way, it contributes to their physical and emotional well-being, helping them reach their full potential.
We are honored to have donated over $200,000 in hundreds of volunteer hours to support 40 hospitals and clinics in the U.S. and overseas. Annually, our programs impact over 500,000 children. We need your help.
We need your help.
Now we need your help.
We need your help.
We need your help.
To further transform children's healthcare experiences and to ensure each child and family has access to a positive, hopeful, healing experience.
Excellent. So what I want to do is just get back to this incredible woman who can rule the 8th graders and she can travel the world.
Well, I suppose once you've taught 8th grade, there's really not a whole lot that's scary.
That is absolutely funny. What I want to do is we have in the chat, if you want to write down your name and where you're from, I like to do call outs for those that are on the show here, and we sure appreciate it. And then I have, I'm expecting my son, he's in Costa Rica, and there's one that doesn't have a name by it. So Andy, if you're on, just put it in the chat, okay? How moms are. Embarrass the heck out of everybody. But that would be excellent. But we sure appreciate everybody to be here. We have Carla from Billings, Della from O'Donnell, from Carla Johnson from Billings. We have Della O'Donnell from I know where you're from, Della, Idaho Falls, Idaho. Catherine Fieri from Billings, Montana. We have wonderful. And Carla Johnson said there's excellent information on Huckleberry travel. And she has one of these names too that I'm not going to pronounce. I did
Absaroki?
You know that name?
I'm guessing.
I'm going to be her friend now. That's awesome. And anybody else, just let me know. So I sure appreciate it. We're going to move on now. You know what? You said that you still work with the students, even though you taught, and 3 years ago you came to Huckleberry Travel. I just love that name. You know, it's just like the homey apple pie name you just want to call Huckleberry Travel.
Yeah. Well, that was part of our branding, I think, is that we wanted you to feel comfortable with us. So we wanted a comfortable name.
Excellent. So what I'm going to do, Andy did come on. And so Andy, I'm moving you over to panelist so I can get him on. So that's going to be really great. I'm going to bring him on so I can show these pictures with the two of you on there and have you guys meet. Isn't this fun? This is just so much fun. So let me bring you on, Andy. I'm going to make you give you all the bells and whistles. And so I'm going to ask you to unmute. I don't know if you can show your video or not, Andy, but can you unmute so we can hear you?
Yeah, can you get me?
Yay, I sure can. Okay, I'm gonna, Andy, meet Erin Richards with Huckleberry Travel. And she's
Hi.
she's specializing in Costa Rica. Now, Andy, real quick, where are you at in Costa Rica? Where are you guys staying at?
We're in Cocoa Beach right now, which is in about 30 minutes outside of Liberia.
Okay, she's nodding her head. Yeah, that's great. So I'm going to let you talk a little bit, Erin, about some of these photos. Andy, can you see the photos that I'm bringing up at all?
Yeah.
Oh, you can? Okay. So either one of you, let's go ahead and let's put some shout outs of any of these visuals. I think I saw a picture with Andy and his family at this waterfall, but it may, you guys just pitch in here. I've never been there. Okay.
All right. Well, Costa Rica has become like a real hot spot, like all through the last year and a half, and tons of people are, they're ready to get it back out and get back to traveling. And Costa Rica, for whatever reason, has become that place. I think it's because Costa Rica is beautiful. It's super diverse. You've got beaches, you've got volcanoes, you've got rainforests, you've got cloud forests. Everybody wants to go see the sloths.
Yeah, I have a picture of sloth. Now, do you guys know this area?
That looks like Arnal.
Yeah, Arnold. Yeah.
So that's the volcano. Tons of hot springs in the area. Great place for rafting, hiking.
That's beautiful. Here's another picture. Is that the same mountain? I just grabbed pictures, so. Guys.
It looks the same.
Okay, excellent. And then what about this? Andy, have you been on this bridge?
I don't know if that one specifically. It looks like it's maybe like Monte Verde. That's kind of like a cloud forest area. So
I was gonna say.
Yes, yeah.
Either the cloud forest or the hanging bridges of but it's definitely up more towards the mountain area.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Okay, you see a lot of them in Costa Rica?
Tons and tons of wildlife, tons of birds, all different kinds of parrots. This is a toucan, obviously. Yeah, I mean, Costa Rica is kind of known for their wildlife.
Beautiful.
There's the sloths.
Andy, have you guys seen sloths there? That's okay. Well, I can't hear you, Andy, so I don't know if you're saying anything.
We love to send our clients to the sloth sanctuary because then they get a chance to actually see what Costa Ricans are doing to protect these animals. There are, I want to say, 7 different varieties of sloths in Costa Rica.
Okay,
I don't know which one this guy is, but he's cute.
He is. That's excellent. Now, this is what city?
That could be Liberia, but it could also be San Jose. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, that's hard to tell.
Yeah, it could be either one. There's major airports in both San Jose and Liberia, and they're kind of like the big cities in the area.
Now, Andy, didn't you stay at tree houses one time? Where was that?
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of. That's kind of the ecotourism is the draw for Costa Rica. So, I think, you'll find all sorts of accommodations for pretty much like whatever your interests are. Whether it's an all-inclusive resort or you want a treehouse in the jungle. It's pretty much everything's available.
And I think, how about the cost of living or staying there as a tourist? How does that rate, Erin or Andy?
Yeah, I was gonna say, go. You're there now. Go ahead and talk about it.
It's not as. Speaking to what Erin said like earlier, it's definitely. So we've been coming down here more the last year and a half, and I just in the year and a half I've seen a big uptick in like people coming, right? And with that, the pricing is definitely gotten to be more expensive. But I think people are feeling that everywhere, right? Even back home, people are feeling that. So it's not like a super inexpensive country, like some people might think. I mean, I've had some friends that have come and expected it to be much cheaper, I guess, but it's still less expensive than at home. But with that, I think you do have better infrastructure. I mean, than you would find in like some countries that might be less expensive, you know. And so for me, I kind of prefer that because I mean, you know, there's not a lot of crime, and there's decent roads to drive around on, and you can drink the water out of this tap if you want to. You know, it's not like some countries you might go to where it might be less expensive, but you don't have some of those amenities that you might, you know, miss from home. So
sure. Yeah, I think one of the big reasons we see so many people using Costa Rica as kind of like a gateway foreign city country is because, like Andy said, it's very like expat friendly. There's lots of Americans, lots of Canadians, lots of Europeans that end up in Costa Rica after retirement. So you have like whole communities of people who moved there for one reason or another, and they're and so now travelers are seeing it as kind of a, like Andy was saying, an easier place to go than some places that may be a little cheaper, may not even be a little cheaper, but don't have that same infrastructure.
That's absolutely beautiful. I'm not going to embarrass Andy or anything, but here's a picture. It's the wrong country he's in. He's not Costa Rica, but this is him and his beautiful wife, Lindsay. So he's on the phone. Yes. Sorry, Andy. I just had to find something.
Thanks for picking that one.
Yeah. and then I have another one. This is a Costa Rica picture you posted on your Facebook. And said, and the bumper sticker said, "Eat rice." Because potatoes make your hiney big. So did you shoot that one yourself or just find it?
I think Lindsay did, my wife. She thought that was funny.
Yeah, that was cute. And then this is my great grandson. This is Andy's grandson. So he's our first, you know. And then this was taken how many days ago?
That was maybe like 5 days ago.
Yeah. That's Adelaide and William in Costa Rica. So they're having a good time. I think your 8th graders would enjoy a trip like that.
I agree. That's our next thing. You know, we've done the East Coast now. So if we can hopefully build our program up and maybe tackle Puerto Rico or Costa Rica or someplace like that, have them do some service projects or something in a little bit warmer climate. I took them once to Hawaii, and we did a lot of service projects with local communities in Hawaii. So it kind of makes me feel like we could take on South or Central America as a group.
There you go. Have you thought of doing online teaching, like maybe with my grandkids in Costa Rica? No.
No, I can't. No, the last year and a half has soured me on online teaching.
That is sad. I'm so sorry. Things have changed, haven't they?
Yes, they have.
So Andy, I didn't hear you. Have you seen a sloth up close in Costa Rica?
Yeah, they're actually, I mean, you have a lot of the sanctuaries and stuff, which is great because you can go and you see these, they have like these protected areas, and it's nice to encourage that, and you can, you can get close, but I mean, you'll see them in town too. Like you'll see, just occasionally, like I've just caught them like up in the trees. You'll see like a sloth every once in a while. If you see like people standing around looking up at the sky and pointing their fingers, and you kind of stop and everyone's looking at a sloth. And then the monkeys and raccoons. Actually, we just walked back from a friend's place, and I think we crossed. What did we see? We saw, we saw a skunk, we saw a raccoon, we saw, an iguana, just in the last like 10 minutes, so there's definitely wildlife everywhere.
That is excellent. I should appreciate it. This is Huckleberry Travel and their website. I didn't get it up there. What is the website, Erin?
Super easy, huckleberrytravel.com.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Why can't I remember that? And this is the phone number, and there's extensions too. So to get in Erin, you click #3. So I miss travel agents. It's interesting how I ran across your travel agency, and we'll talk about that later. But in my earlier years, when I used to travel all the time, thanks to Andy. Andy was on the on the airlines, and so I got my mommy pass. And I want to thank you, Andy. I had years of fun. Okay, just with that. But my travel agent knew exactly what window side I wanted to sit. She had everything booked out, where she knew me so well I didn't have to worry about anything when I was paying for the travel, not the free flights. And do you guys do that with your clients and customers?
Oh, definitely. We are full service. So if clients want us to, now I mean, the world being what it is now, some clients do want to handle their own air, and they want to be the one that picks the seat on the website. And that's fine. I understand that. But there are quite a few clients that I definitely do everything for. I print out their paperwork. I pick their seats. I know what window, I know what type of, what floor in the hotel they want to be on. And all of that. Yeah, we kind of, that's a big source of our customer service base, is that, we kind of pride ourselves on being that full service agency that will go the extra mile for our clients. And, it becomes important, especially now in this changing world, because we will be the ones to sit on hold for you, so that you don't have to, things happen all the time, and it's unfortunate. I had a client today actually who texted me and said, "Oh my gosh, my flight keeps getting delayed and I don't know why." And I could have said, "Well, I don't know why either," but she just wanted somebody to, go on and look at what she was looking at and walk her and hold her hand through it. And I was happy to do that. And we actually figured out a her. So I actually love clients like that. It's
That is really, the service just sounds incredible. Andy, with all of the years of airline service that you've had, you guys have become, you travel all the time. How many countries have you been in, Andy, since you started traveling?
I think, in the 70s, I'm not sure exact number, but in the 70s.
70 countries or something?
Yeah, 73, maybe something like that, I think.
Well, here's something that you both have in common. Her dad worked for the airlines too.
Yeah.
So she grew up traveling all over the place too and got the bag. Oh, guess what place she was talking about, Annie? She was talking about Greenland, or is it Iceland?
Iceland.
Oh, Iceland. Yeah, I've been there a few times. That was a hot spot like a few years ago. Pre-COVID.
Yes.
I feel like COVID might have changed some things, really, obviously, but
right.
Yeah, that was a really a great place to go.
So she said that was one that stood out in her mind. Andy, what is the one country or destination that stood out in your mind?
I think, Iceland definitely stands out. Iceland, to me, my wife and I always describe it as like if Hawaii and Alaska had a baby or something.
That's perfect.
It's got a little bit of both. It's very volcanic like Hawaii, but it's got that, tundra feeling like Alaska. Costa Rica, we've kind of grown really fond of in the last year and a half, just for, the ease of, it's just got a lot to offer. And, we used to spend a lot of time in Hawaii. So we kind of describe it as Hawaii 30 years ago, 40 years ago, before there was a lot of resorts. It's kind of like more original Hawaii, I guess, is how we kind of look at it. And then, I don't know. And then, every country is different, like Thailand, Morocco, South Africa, I would say is a big one. I love Africa, just for the wildlife. So
I think it's awesome. You guys have so much in common. What we're going to do, we're going to take a very short break for a minute, commercial. The commercial's actually on a book I wrote. So I can do it because I'm the host of the show. So, so you guys just hang on there for a minute, okay? There we go. I just thought, why not? It's just incredible business book from anybody who's never been in business before. And it's from my heart. And it definitely has some excellent tips in there. So with that, I just want to turn it back to you two. Okay, we have a little bit of time to just talk. If anybody in that's here, we thank you so much for being here on the Zoom. If you want to just put your questions in, if you have any questions of any destinations that you'd like to learn more, every Friday night, it's all about the fun with our show, 9atnight.com. And we're going to be traveling. We're going to be traveling all over right from your living room or your office, wherever you're at. So put in where you'd like us to feature on, because we have lots of different areas. But what's important is that why not? We work so hard that we need to relax. Now, Andy, if you don't mind, I'm gonna kind of pitch in. You got a full-time job and it allows you to travel all over, but how do you work that out with your kids? They grew up traveling from babies to onwards with your beautiful wife and your work. How do you work that out?
Well, in the past, I work remotely, and I did before COVID. So I know that's kind of that's something a lot of people are doing now, which is probably why you're seeing a lot. Actually, I am personally here in Costa Rica. I see a lot more people that are Canadians and Americans and Europeans that are working while being here. But anyways, I always had that opportunity. So in the past, we would just mostly leave in the summer or take extended spring breaks, but we'd leave for most of the summer months when the kids were out of school. But then COVID happened, and so online school became much more prevalent. And so now, last year, my kids were just did online completely, because that was kind of their district was doing that. And then this year they kind of did half and half. They did one semester at home in just in person, and then now they just kind of switched over for this semester to be online. And then we all kind of keep the same schedule, their work while I work, and if we can get our work done quickly, we can kind of cut out a little early and go hit the beach at 3:00, so that's kind of our goal.
That's really a nice life. And what about tonight? One time you did a motorhome trip along the West Coast. You rented a motorhome. Do you guys book motorhomes?
We do. I actually, I guess it's been a year and a half at this point. August of 2020, maybe. I don't know. You know what? The last 2 years have kind of run together for me, but I did, myself and another travel agent, we rented a motorhome. We do have a supplier we work with. We can do luxury motorhomes where you have, almost like a rock and roll style tour bus and a driver, so you don't have to worry about driving. Or you can do like we did. We rented ours and we drove ourselves. And we went through Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, and Utah. Over the, it was kind of a truncated trip for us, but we did manage to hit 4 national parks, I think, and at least 3 or 4 state parks. Did some river rafting on the Colorado and Utah. Fell in love with Moab, Utah, which is a gorgeous place. And like I said, we we will do whatever our clients want to do. So if it's RVing or motorhomes, we're happy to help. And I actually, you know, kind of the nomad lifestyle has been in my blood forever. That was kind of a big bucket list thing for me too, is I would have gone longer, but my travel buddy had to get back. So
I understand that. What about, and we got some comments on some places to see, and I'll bring them up just a minute. But Andy, what about your motorhome trip? Did you purchase it or did you rent it?
I purchased it, and then we did kind of the whole western coastline of the U.S. So started off like Washington State, kind of up near, what is it, like Port Angeles, I think, around there, and then the Olympic Peninsula, and then down Oregon, and then Northern California, and then we got about mid-California, then had to head back. But yeah, and then we did that all. I was in a summer, but I was still working, and you know, I don't know if people, I mean, you can get Wi-Fi anywhere in the world these days. You know, it's not that limiting. I think sometimes people think that you're not going to have connectivity, but I mean, I always joke, I was like doing a Zoom meeting on a bus between Bulgaria and Turkey in the mountains one time. And I was just hotspotting off my phone, you know, and it worked just fine. So, you know, you can just get connected just about I haven't been anywhere that you can't connect.
I haven't been anywhere I can't connect either. I've connected everywhere from, Alaska to Iceland to places in between. And
yeah.
Andy, do you remember that I had you come up to Alaska during the Iditarod, and I had to do a live radio broadcast? Were you there with me during the broadcast in the hotel?
Yeah, I remember that. That was
and
fun.
in Talkeetna, here's a live broadcast. Like you say, you've never had problems. I had a live remote, very expensive equipment that wasn't working, and I think this was at the hotel in Anchorage. But I had to get a hold of somebody to help me because it's a new piece of equipment. I got a hold of an engineer in Atlanta, and this is more like 9 p.m. their time. And he said, "Don't tell anybody this." He said, "Take it and just drop it on the ground." We're talking $3,000 piece of equipment, and so I did, and it worked. You know, so we had that broadcast. But then in Talkeetna, there is a phone wire that hooks up to my broadcast, so it's strung along the carpet, and it's pretty busy. Everybody that would step on that cord, it would disconnect me from my show. So I would have my engineer on my phone the whole time. And he said, "You're disconnected her and get back on." And I would just play it cool, like there was just a little break and come back on like I never did. So I know about that too. So now all three of us have said you can connect anywhere in the world. So no excuses, okay? So we had Catherine Fieri from Billings. She brought in two different areas. She is interested in New Zealand. Okay. Does anybody have anything to say
back
about
up after 2 years? Australia and New Zealand open up next week, I think. Back up to travelers. Super exciting. It's on my bucket list too.
So next week, maybe we could talk a little bit about New Zealand. Okay. And so that's just there. Andy, have you been in New Zealand yet?
I have a few years ago. Yeah, and it's incredible. You asked me a while ago, like my favorite, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about New Zealand. It's pretty.
Okay,
pretty remarkable.
Very good. Very good. Okay, and then Catherine also mentioned the West Coast redwoods. Everybody needs to see them.
That's true. They're the oldest things on the planet, so it's. Yes. And they're spectacular.
Like being in Jurassic Park, it's just everything's huge.
Yep. I have a couple of clients that like to go see places they've seen in the movies, and anybody who's seen any of the Star Wars movies, that's, you know, the redwoods are the planet of Endor. So we send all of our favorite Star Wars nerds there.
Did they shoot there? Did they film there? Oh,
yes,
wow.
they did. Yeah, they filmed in the redwood forest.
Okay, that is excellent. We have another comment. Let's see, we have Carla Johnson. She goes, "Erin, do people have to be vaccinated to go on the cruises?"
Yeah, for the most part, most cruise lines do require it. It depends on the age of the traveler, obviously, and each individual cruise line. There are a couple cruise lines right now that are mandating that everybody who cruises have the vaccination. So those have essentially become like adults only cruises, which is kind of nice if you don't want to spend, you know, your time relaxing with a bunch of little kids. Other cruise lines like Disney and Carnival that are more family oriented don't have as strict rules for that, because they recognize that some children are not going to be vaccinated, especially if they're under 5. So it depends on the line. It depends on where you want to go.
Okay, I appreciate it. And then Catherine Fieri mentioned from Billings, she mentioned that she grew up in the Redwoods. How lucky you are.
That's awesome.
The next question is, are you a Star Wars fan?
A little bit. Star Wars and I are the same age, so I have to, no, actually it's at my desk right now. You can't see it because it's the other side, but it's all my Star Wars memorabilia. So.
Oh my gosh, that is funny. So this is real touching on home here. I have a son that's absolutely Star Wars. Andy, are you into Star Wars? Because Mike is.
Yeah, a little bit. I've gotten more into it since my own kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this is absolutely a family show. So next Friday night at 9atNight, which is 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Pacific Time, it's only 6 something your time. And Andy, what time is it in Costa Rica right now?
It's on Mountain. I'm sorry, no, it's on Central. So it's 8:52.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't recognize savings, I think, is the thing.
Well, not to put my son on the spot, but would you be willing to come on frequently on Friday nights to be with Erin and I? Since you're a world traveler
Well,
too?
it's a little on the spot, but no. I mean, I would love to if I have the capacity in my schedule. I can't always guarantee it, but yes, I would love to.
Okay.
I love to talk all things travel. So I mean, travel my thing. So yeah.
Yeah, and then what we're going to do, we're just going to discuss this right now instead of off the air here. But so what we've done, this is our first night. This whole week is my first every weeknight podcast. Okay, so this is the funnest. It's the one that you just relax and enjoy these different destinations. But so each of you will be sending me pictures, what you want to talk about, and then we'll put up the Huckleberry travel information because it's so exciting to have Erin on. Andy, the headquarters is in Brooklyn where Dominique is. And Dominique's my daughter. Not that it's a family show too, but it's in Brooklyn. So.
Great. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so and Erin's in California. What part of California are you in?
I'm in Southern California. I'm just outside Los Angeles, kind of in between Los Angeles and San Diego.
Okay, have you ever heard of the Car Guy?
The Car Guy?
Yeah, it's thecarguy.com. He's from that area too. He's on my Tuesday night show.
Oh.
California. Yeah, he's been there since the 80s. He doesn't look it, because I'm from the 80s, so I don't want to think, well, I'm a lot older than that. But yeah, he just knows, he just brings a lot. It's more of a motorsports racing hour. And so it's a lot of fun. So every night with 9atNight is we have a different topic, and I'll go into that. And we just have a few minutes. Erin, is there anything else that you'd love to talk about from travel and something like don't be scared, COVID's almost over?
Yeah. No, I would say definitely don't be scared to at least start planning and start thinking. The more travel opens up, and I'm not kidding when I say this, every day, another country, another place changes their entry requirements, changes what they, need travelers to do to come visit their places. We've seen, like I mentioned, New Zealand, Ireland, Norway, Finland, Sweden have all changed their entry requirements in the last week. So don't be afraid to at least start planning, and honestly start planning now, because as soon as everything is, quote unquote, back to normal, you're going to have a hard time finding places to go because everybody is ready to travel. Everybody's ready to get back out. So you want to be among the first to go when it's still quiet and peaceful.
So now on the catamaran boat, is it a sailboat or?
So it's like the best way I can describe it, the catamaran part of it is how the hull is designed. So the hull is actually like open in the bottom, but it's like a giant yacht. It's not a sailboat. It's motorized, but it's like it's like a giant yacht. So it's an 18 passenger luxury cruise that
so I got
luxury money.
Is it anything like this? Do any of these look like
So,
this?
no, not because it doesn't have the sail. So the catamaran part is that split hull.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
so
seeing.
it would be more like maybe that one. Oh, you just passed it. It'd be more like maybe that one on the end there on the top.
Right here?
That's a really fancy fast one. That would not necessarily be what we're on, but it's it's going to look more like that than a sailboat.
Well, that looks pretty cool anyway. So, okay, so I'm going to go down and see if we see any more. So all these are sailboats. That way. Oh, what about that? Is that a catamaran? Right here.
That's a catamaran, yes.
A big catamaran.
That's a nice one too, yeah.
Okay.
You can probably actually, I'll put the name of the boat in the chat actually, so you can copy it if you want, because it's brand new.
Uh-huh.
Well, and it might actually show up in a search.
Oh yeah, let's do this. How much fun is this? We get to do this all around the country together. I'm so excited. So let me put that in. It's that name.
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at this.
So it might come up.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's going to be, it's that, yeah, there you go. That's it right there.
Oh wow, that's way cool. Now this gives an awesome visual. So
and it is brand new. So I don't know if I mentioned this. We've been planning this trip for our company for almost 3 years at this point. We chose this boat because it was going to be brand new, and our last 2 delays in going actually were not COVID delays. They were building delays, which I mean, yes, were related to COVID because they didn't have people building the boat. But as a result, when we go in May, I believe we are either the 2nd or 3rd time this ship will have ever sailed with passengers.
Oh, wow.
So it's brand new.
That is way cool. You know what's exciting about that? Andy, have you been on a catamaran? I know how to say that word, but have you been on one?
Not one like that. That's a beautiful boat. I've been on like a small sail one, and then like the fast ones for, they're like ferries. They use them in Greece a lot.
I'm trying to bring that boat back up. So I'm getting everything else.
That's a beautiful one though. I haven't been on one that looks nice.
Yeah, that is really cool. I really like that too. So beautiful. You know what? It's just so exciting. So how do they get a hold of you if they want to be on this boat?
They can go through our website, huckleberrytravel.com. They can email me. Do you mind if I put my email and stuff in the chat?
Yeah, go right ahead. I wasn't sure what to put up on there. And then that way you have that. That is excellent. So does anybody have any more questions? We're ready to close out this hour soon. So Erin, it's just ERIN at huckleberrytravel.com.
Correct. Yep. Okay. And we're happy to help. We do have a couple, I think maybe 1 or 2 cabins left. So definitely reach out. And then I have decided that I am going to hike Machu Picchu right before. So I'm feeling a little crazy, but I'm getting all of my South America. I've never been, like I said, to South America. So I'm going to get in as much South America as I can on this trip.
That is excellent. Andy, do you have any tips for her being in South America?
I mean, it sounds like she's got it covered. I didn't hear all the originals. So Machu Picchu, it's been 20 years since I've been there, but I'm 600 years old or whatever. So I'm sure. So, it's like super exciting though.
That's excellent. Very good for you guys. I want to say thanks everyone for being on here. Thank you, Erin Richards and Andy Bowman. And I can't wait for next Friday night what we can discover together all around the world. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and give a little bit more information about this show. Every night, weekday nights, you want to come to 9atnight.com. It's a live Zoom, and it's 9atnight.com. To join us, just go to 9atnight.com, go to the homepage, scroll down, and you'll see the big Zoom box. And you just click on that and you're here on the Zoom Live. So on Monday night, it's all about the business. We talk about featuring top leaders in network marketing. We have Tuesday night. It's all about the drive, and that is featuring top news from race car drivers to owners to everybody that has to do with motorsports. And I absolutely love each night. Wednesday night, it's all about the talent, and that's featuring top news from talented artists and a talent agency. In fact, tonight we had my co-host, Carter Johnson that's on the Wednesday night show. And so she has amazing connections when it comes to getting people in the movies and are on the runway. And so Thursday night, it's all about the money. That's featuring top news with anything financial. My co-host is Ray Patterson. Excellent. He's a chartered financial analyst. Definitely knows everything about your dollar bill, where it's going. And Friday night, it's all about the fun. And that's where, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We have tonight Erin Richards and Andy Bowman in All About the Fun, anything travel around the world. So let's go global together. See us back next week. Thank you so much. You're all so absolutely incredible.
Who else does she have on it? Oh.
She brought a bike one and